time for Chat with Chuck, live from Windsor, California, discussing stuff on Chuck's mind, life, attitudes, and stuff. And now, your host, Chuck the DJ.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody, and a black sheep Kajira. My wife is in the house, and the redemptions. Only a few of them are on, so they don't distract me during the show, and some of the things, the ones that are on should pop up now that the show is live, and now that we are here in person, and things are popping. If you put a redemption in their house, they should come up. Want to say once again, my gosh, Dance DJ Deb here before I even hit the stream button. 9 Iron, thank you so much. I do appreciate you being here. And for those of you that are lurking, feel free to jump in the chat. I saw DJ Hack in there was lurking away. Say howdy to Hack if you're listening. And once again, my wife, Black Sheep Kajura, hanging out. DJ 9 Iron, how you doing? I have like a crap load of stuff to cover today, and I'm going to have to do one of two things. I'm going to have to either not get through some of them, or I'm going to go overtime. And so I don't know. It's just going to depend on how we roll and how the crowd hangs it. And we'll just have to wait and see. But as normal, I'm going to kill just a couple minutes here, kind of saying hi to everybody, and so hoping your day is going well, so we can get anybody that wants to come in late at the last minute. I don't want to get too much into the meat of things. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, howdy. Remind you one more time, we do have a live chat that I'll be dealing with, and sometimes the live chat does throw me off my game. It does take me off my train of thought, and I crash and burn. So there is that. There is that. But man, this week has been just an interesting week. I want to say thank you to those of you that did respond to my emails about some ideas about what we're doing. What were you doing before the world of Twitch took over? And I got some interesting responses from that. I sent a note out to a number of my DJ buds, not necessarily streamer people, because I was in a chat a while back, and one of the gentlemen was talking about hurting himself at the gig. And so that kind of led into things, and I was sort of curious how many people have actually at a gig, at an event, how many people have actually like physically done something, hurt themselves, and caused pain. Sam Nation 3000. Sam Nation's got a great show tomorrow. He's doing a show, I think it's probably an hour long. I think Sam's show is usually about an hour, if I'm not mistaken. Carpenters. The Carpenters, who I grew up on. My ninth grade, my graduation theme in ninth grade was "We've only just begun." So that's how far back I go with the Carpenters. One of the, and I hope Sam shows it, but he probably won't. But one of my favorite video clips on YouTube is Karen Carpenter playing the drums, because she was a heck of a drummer. And then before she kind of like stepped up to the front and took the lead singer role kind of thing. But yeah, the amazing drumming of Karen Carpenter, and such a sad life, because what she went through and the way she passed, and the pressure that she was on to maintain what they considered at that time her beauty, just completely screwed her up. And but unfortunately, tomorrow I have an event at a place called Silverado, which is a kind of a high-end golf resort. They have some PGA tournaments there and stuff, and I've got an event tomorrow at Silverado, and so unfortunately I will be missing this Carpenter show, and which is sad, because that would be a goodie for me, and I look forward to seeing what Sam puts out there. The backstory, I don't know how much backstory you did. The backstory behind We've Only Just Begun, that was originally a bank commercial. song, and it evolved into a full on song. Ryan, DJ 22, my Pookie. I'm going to ask you now because you never answer me usually. Ryan, are you going to be streaming tonight? Just Ryan normally streams on Tuesday nights, but he kind of does or doesn't. A lot of times he does, sometimes he doesn't. Last week he did. I went on too, and we did one of those. We did that shared chat thing. Those are very interesting for those of you that have encountered this shared chats on Twitch. I'm not really sure what the. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, 506, welcome in. I'm not really sure what the point of the shared chats were, what they are, when they came up with them. I think they sound like a better idea than they actually are, to tell you the truth. They are fun and overwhelming. Not tonight. You have gig in San Francisco tomorrow. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. So no stream for Ryan tonight. Okay. I actually forgot what I was saying. I completely forgot. That's the chat threw me completely off. I don't know. What was I saying? I completely forgot. I completely lost it. All right. Well, now that now that Pookie's here, I think we can get the show started. The shared chat thing. Yeah. So I did the shared chat with Ryan. That was kind of fun. We had that, and then on Saturday night, I was home. I had a weird night off, and we had a four person shared chat going on, and just keeping up with the chat is just incredible. And it's weird. It's weird with the chat because people are making comments about songs, and you don't know. Is it my song they're talking about? My song, their song. But I honestly don't know what purpose it serves. I mean, I guess maybe DJ 506 says I'm not 100% sold on the shared chat. I don't know if it's supposed to make more people aware of you, because for example, if 506 and I were sharing a chat, maybe people that were in 506's chat had never heard of Chuck the DJ, which is weird because everybody should have heard of me by now, Chuck the Humble DJ. But it's good to give you numbers. That was Deb says, Dance and CJ Deb says, correct to give you numbers, and that's great. I guess what I would worry about. When we did the shared chat on Saturday night, my chat was very quiet, but a couple of people from my chat left my chat to go into one of the other guys' show, which dropped my numbers, which is a little weird. DJ BBS, good evening and welcome in. How you doing? So that's it's just weird. The shared chat thing. I don't know if, and in case you're out there and you invite me for a shared chat, sometimes I may not accept it. It'll definitely depend upon my mood, how I am. Because like I say, I had a good time with it, but it was weird, and I would feel bad. I honestly would feel bad if people left 506's chat, for example, and came in, or stream, and came into my stream. I mean, I would like it. Oh, cool, yeah, more numbers, new people. But I would feel bad that they left that his stream. But if you're really cool, you open up more than one tab on your computer, and you have all the streams, so you can pop in. So you can be in all the streams and all the pages, and maybe you can just pop back and forth between each tab to each DJ to see what music they're playing. But that's fairly complicated. That is fairly complicated. For those of you that do not know, Black Sheep Kajira is my wife. We celebrated 34 years of marriage last July, and so that was a biggie for us. So yeah, DJ 506 says, yeah, shared chat usually wipes me out for numbers. Yeah, I mean it looks cool. Like if you're looking at your order of like who's on, and it shows you so and so's got 500 people in their chat. Well, they only have 20 people in theirs, but everybody else adds up to that. So I don't know. I think the jury is still out on the shared chat thing, which is not even anything I wanted to talk about today. That shared chat is not in my notes, but we got off on it. We got off on a tangent on there. It is 4:10. I think we're going to start rolling here. I'm gonna start with the easy stuff first. This morning, Veterans Day. If you served or know somebody that has served, thank you, my gosh, for your service. This morning, I have a number of friends and one family member that has served, and and of course, people are posted on Facebook, and I'm trying to get in and say thank you or whatever, and Facebook was not allowing me to post on any Veterans Day post. I could post on any other post or respond to any other post, but I couldn't post or respond on any Veterans Day post. I could like it, but I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say anything on any of them. And I thought to myself, well, who did I piss off now? Who did I make mad now? But apparently, Black Sheep Kajira had said that later on they said there was some sort of glitch, and that did change, and I was allowed to respond to some of those. But for the first couple of hours when I was on Facebook this morning, they would not allow me to, and I wasn't the only one, because I made a post on my page, and one of my other friends, another Chuck, by the way, commented that they weren't able to make posts on it on any Veterans Day's post either. So not really sure what was up with that, but bad Facebook. The other thing, the famous glitch. I guess over the weekend we had our Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame people inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and every year there is, of course, a controversy about why did that individual gets in, why did that not individuals gets in. DJ Ryan says Chucks aren't allowed to post on Veterans Day's post. Didn't you know that? Yeah, I guess they glitched all the Chucks. But this year's rock and roll inductees: Bad Company, Chubby Checkers, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, White Stripes. I only have really 1.5 problems with this list. As well, Salt and Pepper was inducted in the musical. They got a musical influence award. So which I was going to bring that up too, but thank you for mentioning that, Sam. So I don't know. That's the same. Yes, they got inducted in it, but it wasn't as a musical group. They got inducted as a musical influence award, and Warren Zevon also under that same catalog. Or category. Now, Warren Zevon, I think personally, if he isn't already actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a artist, should be, because Warren is badass, right? Salt and Pepper, I mean, musical influence award. I'm not really sure how much influence they had on rock and roll. And again, and I know that my buddy DJ Ryan and I have discussed this a number of times. It is called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and me being old guy, get off my lawn, rock and roll. And as cool as Salt and Pepper may be, I do not consider them any way, shape, or form rock and roll. Sure, they covered Twist and Shout, but other than that, I don't see it. But that's me. On my list of actual inductees, again, I dig Outkast. I do. They're fun. I mean, I love Hey Ya, Miss Jackson. Again, rock and roll. No, I do not think Outkast is in any way, shape, or form rock and roll. The only and the half a problem I have is Chubby Checker. Now, people are going to say, well, oh, what did Chubby Checker do? The only song, can you name a song other than Twist and Shout or Twist and Shout Part 2, whatever, of Chubby Checker? Now, and Chubby Checker, he didn't even write Twist and Shout. He stole that from another artist. Dick Clark got him to cover another artist's Twist and Shout. So Chubby Checker doesn't even get credit for any kind of writing or producing. I mean, and really, that's his. And I've met Chubby Checker at DJ conventions, and that's his only claim to fame. Does he warrant getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Again, I don't think so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting a raid. DJ BMX, my gracious, thank you for the raid. Raiders, come on in. You've got here just in time. I'm typing this in. Hold on. Raiders, welcome. I am Chuck the DJ, and we are doing a 1-hour podcast type show called Chat with Chuck, and we are talking about a lot of things today. Currently, we're talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but we have got some Twitch stuff we're going to talk about, and some history, Twitch history type stuff. But the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, yeah, I mean, so Chubby Checker, God love you for bringing us the Twist. I think I said Twist and Shout. The Twist. Thank you for bringing it. But do you deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't see it. iMusic Radio, welcome in. Thank you for coming in, hanging out. Appreciate it. If you're coming in just now, do me a favor, hit the follow button. I'm on the road for 10,000 followers. I only need 8,300 more, and I'm there. So if you can hit that follow button, I would appreciate it. So that's my rant a little bit on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Bad Company, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Soundgarden, and White Stripes. That is badass. I am the last person to be fat shaming 506. I am the last person. Tennessee Girl, welcome in. The busiest mod on Twitch right there, Tennessee Girl. Okay, so we're gonna because I have so much to cover today, we're gonna kind of move right along. But again, chat with Chuck, so feel free to chime in, chat, because I'm with you. All right. I got another one of these. How many are you guys getting? Are you still getting these? Restricted track detected in my stream yesterday. I played Suicidio by Phil Collins, and I got one of these. And I think, yeah, Sam says all the time, I've lost count. I've lost count. I'm gonna bet somewhere around 60 at least. 60 of these I get. Ryan, you've chimed. I mentioned you, Ryan. Yeah. So the restricted tracks. I don't know. I mean, I know they're still trying to work things out. And I don't really care. I'm playing. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Ryan. Yes, I did get that just before our raid. And I agree. There should be a hip hop Hall of Fame, or if it's include various genres, yes, then just music Hall of Fame. And I agree that that would be great. But then I would be like, okay, if they have a hip hop Hall of Fame, are they going to start putting in Aerosmith, Beastie Boys? I don't know, whatever. DJ 506 says files restricted track emails under 0. What's the from American Graffiti? File it under CS for chicken shit. So yeah, I mean, I don't really care. I'm playing whatever I want to play. I don't really care. I'm not following it. I'm surprised they're still sending them out. I mean, why don't they just they're not doing anything about it. They're just let it go at this point. Tennessee. That's right. I stream what I want and I play what I want, and I love my mods. I do love my mods, and I got Tennessee and Black Sheep Kajir in the house tonight, and DJ Ryan, my Pookie 22, my mod. And the mods might get offended because I have a mod rant in a little bit, but so yeah, the restricted tracks. It really is there a streamer that cares? Yeah, DJ BBS says I don't think anyone no one does anybody really care? Is anybody? I know there was a big ooh, Prince, don't play, And that that's gone by the wayside. We have our we have our monthly Prince raid train, and I'm on it. Well, actually, I haven't been the last 2 months because I've been busy. But I mean, last night was it last night? No, night. What was my 5 hour stream? Monday night? No, Sunday night. Sunday night, I did a 5 hour stream, and I did like a 6 song Prince set, and within my 5 hour stream. And I haven't heard anything about it. I got no notes. I paid for the music once, and I am promoting your product. That's what 506 says. My biggest deal with the whole deal with the DJ program and stuff, 506 and that, and we have said this. People have said this before. I don't mind paying if that money that we're paying goes down and gets into the artist's hands. If it's getting lost in the shuffle through going here, that's nothing. That's bullshit. If it got to the artist, I'd be much more. We're not making. I mean, they've taken so much from us as far as the amount of money that we're getting, and that they're paying with subs or biddies or whatever. And it's just crap. What about the peeps not paying? You mean people not buying their music? And I'll be honest. I mean, 90% of my songs I get from Extended Mix, my videos, because I play mainly videos. If there is not a song that I want to get that is not on Extended Mix, I will rip it off YouTube. Throw me in jail. I will. And but that's very, very, very few. But I don't belong to a record pool or anything. For years and years, guys like Ryan and myself, belong to a company called Promo Only, which we paid big bucks for years and years to get CDs sent to us that we paid for, that they had done legally, and they were paying all the stuff, and that was how we as mobile DJs had most of all the cool tunes, and you could get a variety of styles. You can get country, you can get house, you can get pop radio, you can get alternative radio, hip hop. That was Promo Only. DJ 506, shout out to Extended Mix. Exactly. I love playing videos. I know there's a lot of DJs that don't play videos. I happen to like playing videos. It gives me something to watch as I'm streaming, and I think as people are watching my stream, all 10 of you, I appreciate the videos. Okay. And Deb likes videos too. We talked about Deb last week, I think. Mega streamer, does hours and hours and hours. DJ BBS, Promo Only was awesome. When 506 were working the clubs before Serato, we got DVDs from Promo. Yeah, Promo Only. Before videos became so popular, it was just just MP3s. The technology wasn't when I and Ryan, I'm older than Ryan, been doing it longer than Ryan, but when we were starting out, Promo Only was around, but the I don't know, the quality or availability or whatever of gear to actually do music videos at like school dances, which is what we were mainly doing, was just not there. Plus, a lot of the videos you couldn't play at schools. They get all upset. It's okay for Billy to watch, on his home TV, Christina Aguilera doing the video for Dirty. It's a whole nother thing to see it on a 20 by 20 video screen at your school dance. Christina Aguilera doing the video for Dirty. And if those of you that know the Christina Aguilera video for Dirty, you know what I'm talking about. Sam Nation, I worked at a nightclub that still had hundreds of VHS tapes from a service that came with a new VHS out every month. Yeah, I had a buddy named DJ Daryl K, Double Barrel Daryl, worked at a club, and that's what they were doing too. They had the VHS tapes that were getting sent to them, and that was very cool, especially early days of MTV, right? So I the having to get video screens and a projector and all that kind of stuff. DJ Tack, how you doing? Welcome in, first time chatter from the raid. Hope you hit the follow button. Glad to see you. We're whipping through. This is Chat with Chuck. We got a 1 hour little podcast show, and then after I get done at about 5 o'clock, I do play some music. I'm kind of in a ska punky mood today, so I might be going there. I'm not really sure yet. You never know what I'm going to play. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, appreciate that. So that's my rant on some of that stuff. Let's talk about Twitch a little bit. Ask and I shall receive. Well, I appreciate that. Are you a streamer or are you a watcher? Because if you're a streamer, everybody make sure you're following DJ Tack. So, all right. Well, let me hit that follow button and follow you. Give you a follow back because it's all about the support here, right? We got to be supporting. There we go. All right, there it is. All right, so last week, for some reason, it popped to my head. I can't remember exactly why. I can't remember who I was talking to, what was going on. We started talking about pre-Twitch. What were we doing before the days of Twitch? DJ 506 been following me for 5 years, 2 months, and 5 days. My gosh. I just had my 5-year anniversary, affiliate anniversary last weekend. DJ 506 followed me for a long, long time. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, we're going to start. Okay, BBS for 4 years, 9 months. All right. Justin TV was before Twitch. Dudshot, welcome in. Before Twitch, streaming before Twitch was Mixcloud. But what I was curious about, DJ Ryan's only been following me for 2 years. That's not right. But pretty much, I know, Ryan. I don't know what's going on with that. COVID, when COVID kicked in, and the world kind of shut down, and we DJs kind of either moved from Mixcloud over to Twitch, or we just started streaming because for those of us that are full-time DJs, we all said we had nothing to do. We were bored. What are we going to do? How are we going to get our yayas out? The word got out. Mixcloud was first. I had a buddy in New York, DJ Blast, that got me hooked up on Mixcloud, Confetti, and then Twitch rolled around. With the gamers. And as I said a couple last week, we are the DJs. We are only about 3% of Twitch. The rest is gamers. And if that number has been changed or different, somebody please let me know. But that's the number I heard. But what I was curious about was before the pandemic, before Twitch, what were you doing on a Tuesday afternoon? What were you doing Tuesday? You weren't sitting here with Chat with Chuck. You weren't getting ready for your stream. What were you doing? So we've been spooning, not dating for decades now. That's true. So I sent an email out to some of my favorite streamers, and I was curious. So what do you do? So I'm going to read a couple of the responses. As you know, in case I ever send a questionnaire out to you, I do not name names. I don't drop any names. I don't out anybody, unless they specifically say, yes, you can out me, or please out me, but I normally don't. DJ 9 Iron was here in the chat beforehand, and he put a thing that he was a gamer before he was a streamer. So 5 years ago, before the pandemic, I was working at a different company in an office. To switch to work from home happened pretty quickly that year, so I found myself at home all day for a change, especially when the pandemic shut everything down. And with no coworkers to take into consideration, I could play music all day. Twitch was a great solution. DJs I follow in real life were now on Twitch, which was fun. I started making Twitch friends and becoming a regular on several channels. I used to spend my time before Twitch making visual art, both digitally and with oil paint. Twitch slowly took its place, especially after I started streaming myself. Now, Twitch is my hobby, and I'll save the visual arts for another day. So there we go. So it invaded his life. DJ 506, before Twitch, I was working part-time at a Five and Dime. My boss was Mr. McGee. Right, and I had to read that. Oh, yuck. I was working at home. This is another person, by the way. Thank you very much. I was working from home in a management position, which has since been eliminated due to the pandemic, and I was working as a personal trainer at a gym, which I lost due to the pandemic as well. In my free time, I would hang out with friends, go out to eat, and try new restaurants all the time because it wasn't as expensive back then, and traveling, which I don't do much anymore. My life is completely different now. Twitch has taken that over. Can I put 506 in a timeout for that comment? So people had lives, and but your lives have changed now because we have this thing called Twitch, and we have this community. Now, as you know, as we've talked about last few episodes, first it was Kick that came in and tried to get a piece of the pie. Can I say it that way? And now LFG came in and is trying to take a piece of the pie. Both have offered a better deal, a bigger piece of that pie, and neither one has really panned out as of yet. If I'm not mistaken, Kick is still around. Obviously, I don't restream. LFG is on a upgrade break. Unless they've come back, I haven't checked, because they said that they're going to start reaching out to other content creators, which means other than DJs. They reached out to DJs at first. They were a community for DJs. It didn't fly probably as fast as they'd hoped, and so now they're going to open up to the world of other content creators. Mr. Lattenhouse, Rip, Rant, and Chat, Chuck the DJ. How you doing, Mr. Lattenhouse? Welcome in. Mr. Lattenhouse is always great. This next one, real quick, because we're about halfway through our show now. I was at church almost every day, all services on Sunday because we live streamed. Community meal and Bible study on Monday night, women's group meeting on Tuesday, secretary, sermon review, and caring on Wednesdays, helping my friends. Yada, yada, yada. With projects that headed up the family ministry, and other days as needed. I was limited to what I could do because I was on a walker. It all came to a screeching halt, locked up the church, and the community was a ghost town. So, very spiritual, this individual. I know who this is. And COVID just killed that. They were already streaming. The church was already streaming. They had some experience with that. There they go. Kind of slipped right in. DJ 506, LFG would like to start sleeping with other people. Yes. Next one. A friend and I had a YouTube channel called Offbeat Discoveries, where we traveled the Carolinas for different and odd attractions that were either free or budget friendly. We had just literally decided to take a couple of weeks off in March of 2000 when the world shut down 2 weeks later. I started dabbling in digital media a couple of years prior, and after seeing Barry Harris on this new thing called Twitch, I took a stab at it too on 4/19/20, and the rest is history. Another DJ, So yeah, I mean, has it invaded your life, your family? I know it's invaded my life. My wife has been very tolerant with me, and I do appreciate that. This one here says, injured my knee, tore my MCL, and meniscus. Boy, I'm not going to get that word right. I'm terrible with that. And then the pandemic hit, postponed my surgery. My parents-in-laws died within 10 days of each other. Had surgery in May 2020. Caught COVID in August 2020. And was hospitalized for 17 days. Got divorced in October 2020. What a screwed up year this was, right? Decided to DJ on Twitch after watching Gamers for a year in November of 2020. So for this individual, the year of 2020 was just a heck of a year, right? Just now, 2020, I was 2 weeks before COVID shut the world down, speaking of which, I was helping a buddy install a sound system in a gym, a high-end gym. You go in, you join a gym, We were installing speakers in the ceiling. We were running cables all over the place. I leaned over to run the cable. I was up on a 12-foot tall ladder with my head through the ceiling, one of those kind of acoustic tile ceilings you could stick your heads up through. I was leaning over. I was running the cable. As I leaned over this way, my feet pushed the ladder out that way, and down I came on top of the machines. I now have a titanium elbow. Shattered my elbow. and put me in a cast. My first thought was, oh my God, how am I going to DJ now? Because DJing, mobile DJing is my full-time job. Been doing it full-time for years and years and years. Well, 2 weeks later, COVID kicked in and shut the world down and took all my gigs away. Now, for me, it couldn't have happened at a better time because I couldn't do anything anyway, and it worked out. It worked out great. Mr. Lattenhouse, 2020 was a horrible year. I didn't want to out you there. This person says they were doing nothing, just hanging out with the grandkids at home and doing a lot of nothing. And then Twitch, right? This one says, life was about the same, minus the Twitch aspect. I used to spend a lot of time building electronics in the basement, little robots, fun lights, that kind of thing. Then I asked, do you spend less time doing that now? And they said a little less, but that's mostly because there's somebody else living here now for a while. So this person got a roommate, and they're playing with toys, basically. Has gone downhill because I guess I'm assuming their roommate gets in the way. I don't know. You never you get a roommate, and all of a sudden you don't know what happens, right? You get a roommate, and it just not only will Twitch screw you up, but so will that roommate. So that's that's really anybody who happens to have roommates is just well, I guess it's good and bad. Roommates are good and bad, right? Yeah. Obviously help you with the budget. That's great. If you get a good roommate, we've had roommates. We currently have a roommate, and we're very lucky. And we have got a great roommate. We've been in and out of having roommates. Sometimes we get a roommate, sometimes we don't. And in our other house, we had a roommate. We had a roommate in our other house that was so bad, and we interviewed him. We thought it would be a very cool person. We thought it would be very, very spiritual. We thought it would be a great guy. It turns out that how am I going to put this tactfully? I don't know if Black Sheep Kajir is still here or not. When he used the restroom, rather than using toilet paper, he used washcloths, which he would put in a bucket next to the toilet, and then probably, oh, you're still here. Probably when we were gone, he would probably wash them in the wash machine. I don't know. Because do you ever remember how whatever or maybe he just threw them away and got more washcloths. I don't know. And in fact, he was in the house when we moved from that house to the house currently the house we're in, and he wouldn't leave. And so we were like, well, okay, we're leaving, we're moving out, and the landlord had to deal with him. The ex-landlord, who was a jerk anyway, had to deal with this guy and deal with getting him out of the house. So yeah, I mean, that was the roommate. We've had a couple of really great roommates. He didn't want to waste paper. Yeah. He didn't want to waste paper. So that was a bad situation for a roommate. So that was a bad situation. All right, I got one more here. It's a little bit long. Bear with me. I'm not great reading. What were you doing, before the timing? In 2017, I was in my first year of college, sixth form. I'm not really sure what that is, but if you're a college person, maybe you do. And I was planning on going to university the next year, but I had to drop out of college because I suffered a psychotic episode, started hearing voices, and became very anxious and paranoid. They had to recover from that. For the next few years, the medication I was taking made me extremely drowsy throughout the day, and the symptoms from my episode made me very agoraphobic. I think that's how you pronounce that word. I hardly ever left the house or my room. I was spending the majority of my time either online, talking and gaming with friends, or having therapy sessions and medical checkups with my mental health nurse. Around 2019, I started to feel that I had recovered from my episode and started to leave my house again with the support of my friends, my family, and my NHS mental health support team. I was also looking into getting back into education and employment and managed to get a weekend job washing dishes at a local cafe. At the start of 2020, I was about to apply for an educational program when the lockdown was announced. The night before the lockdown came into effect, I was drinking with some friends at a lockdown party in their backyard. At the start of the lockdown, I actually really enjoyed it. I could spend all my time in Discord calls, socializing with friends who also couldn't leave their homes. I didn't discover Twitch until about a year later into the lockdown, and I've become very addicted to it since. So, um, it affects or attracts all kinds of people. You know, that's one of the really cool things I like about the Twitch community. Um, I've spent my years as a DJ. I've spent my years as a DJ surrounded by DJ, surrounded myself in the DJ world, going to the DJ conventions, hanging out on the DJ chat forums, on the boards, on the internet, moderating different boards, presenting at different DJ panels here and in Atlantic City, all that. And so I've always it's DJ world, right? The cool thing about Twitch is that, yeah, there's a lot of people that are streamers, that are DJs. There are a lot of people that just started streaming because of Twitch that maybe weren't DJs before that hopped, I was going to say hopped on the bandwagon, however you want to say it, however you want to deal with it, but they're from all different walks of life. That is one of the cool things about Twitch, and about the community, the variety, the styles that are out there. Even my wife is much more into alternative, goth. I was going to say witchy, but that's not maybe not the term I want to use. Type stuff. Where I am generally speaking more mainstream, more rock, more. Although I do play all kinds of stuff. In fact, last night I normally do Monday Mellow. That's what I've been doing for the last few months. Mellow Mondays. Last night I did a Motown Mellow or Motown Motown Monday. I had a great time on Motown Monday, and I may be changing that. I'm thinking about doing like 60s, 70s Motown, soul Monday night is what I'm thinking about doing. Motown and more, I think, is what I'm going to change over to on Monday nights. So there'll be some chill there, but there'll be some more upbeat stuff because I really had a good time last night. Didn't have a lot of people in my chat, but I had a really good time. And if you followed me at all, you know that one of the things I preach about, Mama Salami, how you doing? One of the things I preach about, happy Tuesday to you. One of the things I preach about is that if you're doing this, if you're streaming, you've got to be doing it because you love it, because you enjoy it, because it warms your heart. If you're trying to battle it, and you know me, I've gone up and down, I've gone back and forth, I've stepped away. Mr. Latin House has pulled me back every time. I've stepped away, said screw this, I'm not doing this anymore. I go up and down. I've got chips on my shoulder that are so huge that you wouldn't believe. And maybe someday I'll do a Chuck's chip on your shoulders. Mr. Lattenhouse says I've retired more times than me, and I have. And my wife is my wife and my Pookie DJ Ryan 22. They always start taking bets on when I'm going to come back. My moderators are always just like he'll be back by October or whatever. Because I always do. I come back because I do enjoy it. I go through times where it's just so freaking annoying. I get so upset. I get so sad. I get so butthurt that I need more Coke. I don't understand stuff sometimes. I don't understand this, that, or the other thing. Tennessee Girl, thank you for dropping that Prime notice in there. I look at other DJs and I'm like, wow, how come I can't get those numbers, or da 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 da. And then as Black Sheep Kajir tells me all the time, do it. GNC DJ, how you doing? Welcome in. Thank you for the raids, by the way. You've been very supportive. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. Um, you're gonna get me off on a tangent here. I can feel it. I can feel it bubbling. I can feel it bubbling right down here. You know, um, uh, and I that chip on the shoulder, right? DJ 506. I understand why people hang out on 506's show. My gosh, if you've ever watched 506, one of the best shows, so entertaining because there's so much more than just the music going on. Now I get it. Some people, all they want to hear is music. They don't want to hear a DJ talking. They don't want this, that, the other thing. You know, um, you know, and some people do, obviously, and some DJs want to do that. Some people don't. Um, and there is Dance Dance CJ Deb says there's little clicks, and that's why the numbers aren't there. Yeah, I get that. I also know that I don't stream a lot during the day, Deb. I mean, I stream mostly at night. The few times that I do stream, like early on, I do get better numbers if I stream. If I had um, a normal daytime stream, um, I might have some shows where I got better numbers. DJ Ryan 22 says, Chuck D, not one of, but the best for entertainment. He's all over the place, very quick witted, best on Twitch. Ryan, I agree. DJ 506 is amazing like that. And DJ Ryan and we kind of have the same attitude. If I just wanted to hear music, if I just wanted to play music, I would turn on Spotify. Now my wife is like that. Black Sheep Kajira. She doesn't want a bunch of bullshit going on. She wants to hear music, and play the tunes. Yeah, you can talk a little bit, but don't be freaking interrupting music all the time, right? So that's this two different areas or in the same household, you know. And it's what the DJ now. I think guys like DJ Ryan or myself, who are actually mobile DJs who have spent our life out in front of people, we like being on camera. That's for being a DJ. That's part of the deal. You were on camera. That's that's part of the show. You're here. You're there. You want to be out in front. You want to see that kind of thing. So that's what I enjoy doing. Now, I noticed last night, for example, I had a very quiet chat, very, very quiet chat. And a lot of times if I have a quiet chat, I will just leave because for me, I like the interaction. I like the chat. And if I'm not having a good chat, I'll leave. I'll shut down. I'll raid out. I'll go. I don't care. I can have 50 people in the room or in the chat. And if nobody's chatting, I'm freaking out of there. I like the social aspect of the stream. That's what I like. So last night, for example, I had a very quiet chat, but I was playing. I was playing unusual music for me, my Motown soul kind of stuff. So I was really enjoying it. I had a really good time. So I did my 2-hour show. 11 o'clock, I was done. 10:55 because I didn't want to raid. I was done, because most of my shows are 2 hours. I'm not a mega streamer. That does occasionally change. Last Monday, I was the caboose on. Oh man, I was the caboose on the No Banjo raid train. And I said I was going to rant on raid trains today again, but I was the caboose on the No Pants raid train on Sunday. And I like being the caboose on trains. I really, really do. Because if I want to play long, I can play long. If I want to end, I can end. And Monday night or Sunday night was one of those nights where I just wanted, and I played 5 hours. I played four. It was like 4 hours. What was it, Ryan? 4 hours and 40 minutes. Just under 5 hours. My back wouldn't let me hit. I was trying to hit 5, but my back just said no. You've been standing here long enough. Go home. So I was. The no pants train, and if you're a streamer and you're on a raid train, right? And you're not the caboose, right? You've got guys to rate into or people that you rate into, all right? Let me give you a piece of advice, right? Okay? If for some reason something comes up, right, where maybe you have to go to the bathroom. Speaking of bathrooms, like, oh my God, I had too much Taco Bell. I need to go to the bathroom. Now, I'm not sure about Serato because I don't use Serato. I use Virtual DJ, but I think Serato has it also. Line up 4 or 5, 6 songs, put it on auto mix, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, right? And then come back and catch up. Don't derail the train by going, I have to go to the bathroom. Oh my God, I got and raid out to some rando and completely derail the train. Right? Don't do that. That's not good for that's not good for anybody. Right? Right? I came in from dinner with my wife, and when I'm on a raid train, I log on to the raid train. Yes, I log on to the raid train on first thing in the morning, whatever. And I may not be at my computer all day or whatever, but I'm on I'm in the train, and I'm following the train. So we came home, and I was the caboose on the train, and we came home, and I went to the computer, and I looked at my computer, and I'm like, well, who in the hell's this? Well, how did I get to this guy's house? And then I got to check the messages because I had gotten messages, asking me if I could go on early because this, well, I couldn't because I didn't have my stuff and I was out and I was, so they just rated out. I don't know. I don't know. And those of you that have been with me here on Twitch and heard me rant and stuff, before. Well, but see, Ryan, Ryan says Serato does, but their automix plays tracks completely out, even with dead air at the end of the track. Unlike Virtual DJ with lots of choices. Well, sure, that's fine though. But at least you don't. You're not ending the train. You're not derailing the train. At least let it go. You could even say, "Look, I got to go to the bathroom. I'm putting on auto mix. Don't worry, don't go anywhere." Blah! And I like the guy. I mean, I like the guy that happened to, and I follow him. And had I been home, yeah, I would have happily gone on early, and done that. The conductor for the train would have gone on had they had the time, had they been the notice would have gone on. There would have been coverage had the guy taken the time to find the coverage. But I guess the emergency was so abrupt, I'm going to guess, that they didn't have time to do that. And I can't understand that. Sometimes you got to get to the bathroom so fast you don't have time to try to find somebody. Again, put it on frickin' auto mix. Sam, it's not my train. So that call is not up to me. The guy did apologize. I would welcome him back. But I would try to be closer to my computer. if he's the one raiding into me, I would try to be closer to my computer. Now there's a purple DJ that's famous for starting late or not wanting to end. Where it depends. Mr. Lattenhouse says, well, yeah, well, where it depends then. There is a purple DJ that uses that's had that problem. And when I've been on the purple train, there's been a couple of times where I'm like, do I really want to follow this individual, or do I really want to be raiding into this individual? For me, I try to plan things around it. So if I do have to play long, it's not going to affect anything. It's not like I'm gonna I got to get to a gig, or whatever. So if I do have to play another half hour or whatever, it's not quite that big a deal. Because Twitch has invaded my life, and it has invaded my wife's life. And I've said this a zillion times. My wife is the most tolerant wife on Twitch. Tang Fever, welcome in. How you doing, Tang? Great Chuckette supporter. I appreciate you so much, Tang. Thank you so much for being here. But we're getting down to the end here. I kind of whipped through stuff faster than I thought I was going to whip through stuff. I feel like I'm talking on speed today for some reason. I don't know if there's anything else that I really want to cover right now. The one thing that I did put out in the world that I didn't really get any traction on was the injury thing. Has guys off have people hurt themselves at an actual event? And I mentioned I fell off a ladder. That wasn't actually at a DJ gig. There was one time, and this was years ago. This was pre-Kajira. When I was drinking and working at a bar, working at a bar on the Coast Guard base, and I would show up there, and they would have my kamikazes in a glass waiting for me. And I remember one time at the end of the night, this was back in the day of amp-racks, before powered speakers, and I was trying to put my amp rack into my van, and I was drunk and I was buzzed, and I couldn't get my amp rack into the van correctly, and I remember trying to shove it in there, and it had 3 Crown Macrotech 2400s in it, and it fell, and it fell on my foot, and it hurt. But I'm like, whatever. I was buzzed. I got mad, and I basically just threw the amp rack, got it in the van, shut the van, got home, went to was going to bed, took off my shoe, and my sock was covered in blood, and I had split my big toe. And being an idiot, I don't want to go to the hospital, so I put a bunch of Band-Aids on around it, and I wrapped some shit around it, and yada 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 yada. Went to bed because I was drunk, and in the morning, I got up, and my balloons. My bed kind of looked like that scene from The Godfather with the horse's head. There was blood all over the place, and my toe was still bleeding like a son of a bitch. And so I decided, well, I better go to the hospital now. And I did, and they had to stitch it up, and my big toe is still disfigured from that incident of getting that was the worst that I've ever hurt myself at a show. So that was bad. But when I sent the word out to asking other individuals, I didn't really hear too much from other people about hurting themselves and how they did, or if they did. So if anybody in the chat has a story they want to share in the next 2 minutes, we can take care of that. But I do want to thank everybody for being here. It's just the new follows. Thank you, DJ Tack. I do appreciate the follow. I don't know if I'll be streaming tonight. One of my friends is streaming tonight. I don't know if I want to step on her. And DJ B Mix, thank you for the raid. I do appreciate the raid. My moderators that are here, DJ Ryan 22, Tennessee Girl, thank you so much. Paul, welcome in. And of course, my main moderator, my main love of my life, the woman I've been married to for the last 34 years. And we dated in school when we were in school. My wife and I figured out the other day that if you take the time in that we've been married and the time that we dated in school, and you half that, we've been together over half our lives, or about half our lives, I think is what it is with Black Sheep Kajura. So we've been together for a long time. Dan Stan CJ Deb said hers, she fell on black ice and breaking 2 bones in my hand, along with a slight tear in my arm, all of which I still have since 2023. That's right. You talked about your injury. Yeah, that's not fun. I've never had to deal with black ice, at least not that I remember. But I know falling. My wife has fallen. She broke her wrist one time. We were in Kauai one time. She was going outside. She slipped on the metal jam. that between the door, inside and the outside. She slipped on the metal jam. She fell back. She tried to brace herself with her wrist, and she broke her wrist, and got a cast and stuff. Well, and that was when we were on vacation in Kauai. And then she was going the next week. She was going to a belly dance retreat because she was a belly dancer. And yeah, so that was not any fun. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to do my little closing. I'm going to play some music. I'm gonna calm down. I want to say thank you for coming. I will be here Wednesday night. I do Mellow Wednesday, Hump Day Mellow. That'll start about 9 o'clock on Pacific Standard Time. I don't have a Ray Train until a couple weeks, so I think I'm okay. I'm not sure if the No Pants Ray Train guys will let me back on at all. But yeah, I want to say thank you very much, guys. And be well, be good, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks for listening to Chat with Chuck. Have something you want Chuck to riff about? Send him a whisper and get ready to be entertained. I'm Greg Murray. Thanks for listening.